Listen, ladies and gentlemen, there is one simple shot that can switch your body on within minutes, and almost no one is using it the right way. I'm talking about a concentrated ginger shot, and what happens inside your body the moment this hits your system is incredibly powerful. That intense burning sensation you feel is not just spice, it's your body activating. The moment ginger hits your tongue and stomach, it stimulates sensory receptors that immediately send signals to your digestive system to wake up. Within moments, your body begins to respond. Ginger contains powerful natural compounds that help increase digestive activity. It supports gastric movement, helps your stomach empty more efficiently, and prepares your body to break down and absorb nutrients the way it was designed to. This is why people who feel bloated, heavy, or sluggish often notice a quick shift when they start using it consistently. But it doesn't stop at digestion. Ginger also helps calm inflammation in the body. It supports circulation, increasing blood flow and oxygen delivery. That's why many people feel a noticeable sense of warmth, alertness, and even mental clarity shortly after taking it. You're not just waking up your gut, you're activating your entire system. Now here's where most people get it wrong. They either take too much too fast and irritate their stomach, or they dilute it so much that it loses its effect. You actually want that kick. That sensation is your body responding. Start simple. Take about 1 teaspoon on an empty stomach. Let your body feel it. Allow it to adapt. If it feels right, you can gradually increase over time. If the taste is too strong, you can add a little lemon or a touch of honey to soften it, but keep it concentrated. Timing is everything. The best time to take it is first thing in the morning on an empty stomach. Then wait about 10 minutes before eating. That small window gives your digestive system time to fully activate, so your body is ready to process food more efficiently. Ginger also has a mild thermogenic effect, meaning it can gently support your metabolism and help your body operate more efficiently throughout the day. And the most powerful part is how quickly you can feel the difference. Within minutes, your body begins to respond. Of course, if you have a sensitive stomach, acid reflux, or you're taking certain medications, you should start slowly and pay attention to how your body reacts. But for most people, this is one of the simplest and most natural ways to activate the body at the start of the day. So try this for the next few mornings. Pay attention to what happens. Notice how your stomach feels, how your energy shifts, and how your body responds after you eat. Because once you start feeling that difference for yourself, that's when it becomes real, and that's when you truly begin to take control of your health. There is something powerful about simplicity that most people overlook. We live in a world where everything feels complicated. Health advice, fitness routines, diet plans, supplements. You're told you need 10 different things, 20 different steps, and a lifetime of discipline just to feel a small change in your body. But what if the shift you've been searching for, the energy, the clarity, the lightness, could begin with something incredibly small? Your body is not broken. It's not working against you. It's responding every single day to what you give it. The problem is not that your body has failed you. The problem is that your body has been overloaded, confused, and deprived of what it truly needs to function at its best. Think about how you feel right now. Maybe you wake up tired even after a full night's sleep. Maybe your stomach feels heavy, your mind foggy, your energy low. Maybe you've accepted that this is just how life is supposed to feel. But deep down, you know something isn't right. Your body was designed for more than this. It was designed to feel alive, energized, and balanced. Now imagine this, one small habit, one simple addition, something so easy you could start it tonight. And within a short time, you begin to notice a difference. Your digestion improves, your cravings begin to fade, your energy starts to rise naturally, not because of stimulants, not because of extreme changes, but because you finally gave your body something it has been quietly asking for. The human body thrives on consistency, not complexity. When you introduce something that supports your system, something that works with your biology instead of against it, you trigger a chain reaction. Your metabolism starts to respond. Your gut begins to heal. Your hormones find balance. And suddenly, the things that once felt difficult become easier. This is where most people go wrong. They chase big changes. They want fast results, but they ignore the small, powerful actions that actually create those results. They underestimate how quickly the body can respond when it's given the right support. You don't need to punish your body to transform it. You don't need to starve it, exhaust it, or overwhelm it. You need to nourish it, support it, and guide it gently back to balance. Because when your body feels safe and supported, it responds faster than you think. There is a rhythm inside you, a natural intelligence, that knows how to heal, how to restore, how to optimize. But that rhythm gets disrupted by stress, poor nutrition, lack of sleep, and constant stimulation. The key is not forcing your body into change. The key is not forcing your body into change. The key is removing the obstacles and giving it what it needs to do, what it already knows how to do. And sometimes that starts with something as simple as a teaspoon of the right ingredient at the right time. Something that supports digestion, stabilizes blood sugar, reduces inflammation, and signals to your body that it can relax and function properly again. When your blood sugar is stable, your cravings disappear, When your digestion improves, your energy increases. When your body absorbs nutrients properly, your mind becomes clearer. Everything is connected. And that's why even a small change can create a big impact. But here's the truth most people don't want to hear. It's not just about what you take, it's about consistency. You can't do something once and expect your body to completely transform. But when you repeat a simple supportive habit every day, your body begins to trust you again. It begins to adapt, to repair, to improve. Think of your body like a system that's been out of alignment for a long time. You don't fix it overnight, but you can start guiding it back one small step at a time. And those steps don't have to be complicated. In fact, the simpler they are, the more likely you are to stick with them. The beauty of this approach is that it removes the pressure. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to overhaul your entire life. You just have to start. One small action, one simple habit, and then you build from there. And as you begin to feel the difference, something shifts inside you. You become more aware of your body. You start to notice what helps and what hurts. You begin to make better choices, not because you have to, but because you want to. Because now you've experienced what it feels like to feel better. That's where real transformation happens, not in extreme changes, but in consistent, intentional actions that align with why. Our body's natural needs. So tonight, instead of overthinking, instead of waiting for the perfect plan or the perfect time, just take that one step. Give your body something that supports it, something that works with it, something that allows it to begin the process of healing and balancing. Because once your body starts to respond, once you feel that first shift, more energy, better digestion, fewer cravings, you'll realize something important. You'll realize that change doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be overwhelming. It can be simple, powerful, and fast. And when you experience that for yourself, you won't need motivation anymore. You'll have momentum. Most people underestimate how powerful small actions can be because they've been conditioned to believe that big results require big effort. They think transformation has to be extreme, painful, and complicated. But the truth is, the body doesn't respond best to intensity. It responds best to intensity. It responds best to consistency. A small habit, repeated daily, has far more impact than a big action done occasionally. When you introduce a simple habit into your routine, something that takes almost no effort, you remove resistance. And resistance is the biggest reason people fail. When something feels too hard, too time-consuming, or too restrictive, the brain naturally pushes back. Or when something is easy, almost effortless, your mind accepts it. You do it without overthinking, without stress, without delay. And that's where the magic begins. Think about how the body works. Every system inside you thrives on rhythm and repetition. Your heart beats consistently. Your lungs breathe in a steady pattern. Your digestive system follows cycles. When you align your habits with this natural rhythm, your body responds quickly because it recognizes the pattern. It begins to adapt, to optimize, and to improve. Now imagine giving your body a small supportive input every single day, something that helps your digestion, stabilizes your blood sugar, reduces inflammation, or enhances nutrient absorption. On its own, it may seem insignificant, but when you repeat it daily, it becomes a signal, a message to your body that says, we are supporting you now. And your body listens. Within days, subtle changes begin to happen. You might notice that you feel a little lighter after meals. Your cravings may start to decrease, especially those late-night urges that once felt uncontrollable. Your energy might begin to rise not in a sudden spike, but in a steady, natural way that feels sustainable. These are not coincidences. These are responses. The body is incredibly intelligent. It's always adapting to what you give it. If you constantly give it stress, processed foods, and irregular habits, it adapts in a negative way. But if you begin to introduce even one positive habit consistently, it starts to shift in the opposite direction. It starts to heal. One of the most powerful aspects of small habits is that they build momentum. At first, you don't expect much. You're just trying something simple. But then you start to feel the difference. And that feeling becomes motivation. Not forced motivation, but natural motivation that comes from results. And once you feel better, you want to continue. This is how real change happens. Not through willpower alone, but through feedback. Your body gives you feedback based on what you do. When you feel better, you keep going. When you feel worse, you stop. Small habits create positive feedback loops that make consistency easier and more natural. Another important factor is that small habits don't overwhelm your system. When you make drastic changes, your body can go into a state of stress. It doesn't know how to respond, so it resists. This is why extreme diets and intense routines often fail. They shock the system instead of supporting it. But small, gradual changes allow the body to adjust smoothly. There's no shock, no resistance, just adaptation. And here's something even more powerful. Small habits compound over time. What feels small today becomes significant over weeks and months. A simple daily action can lead to improved digestion, better metabolism, balanced hormones, and increased energy. These are not separate benefits, they are all connected. When one system improves, it positively affects the others. Consistency also builds trust between you and your body. If you've spent years ignoring your body's needs, overloading it, or sending it mixed signals, it stops responding efficiently. But when you start showing up every day with a simple supportive habit, your body begins to trust you again. It begins to rely on that consistency. And when that trust is restored, your body functions better. You don't need to do everything at once. In fact, trying to do everything often leads to doing nothing. The key is to start with one thing, just one. Something so simple that you cannot fail. Something that fits into your life without disruption. And once that becomes part of your routine, you build on it. This approach removes the pressure of perfection. You're not trying to change your entire life overnight. You're simply adding one positive action. And that action becomes the foundation for everything else. It creates a sense of control, a sense of progress, and a sense of possibility. Over time, these small habits reshape your identity. You no longer see yourself as someone who struggles to stay consistent. You become someone who takes care of their body daily. And that shift in identity is what makes the change permanent. The speed of the results may surprise you, because when the body finally receives consistent support, it doesn't hesitate. It begins to respond almost immediately. You may not see dramatic changes overnight, but you will feel the difference. And feeling the difference is what keeps you going. It's not about doing more. It's about doing what works consistently. It's about understanding that small actions, when repeated daily, are not small at all. They are the foundation of every lasting transformation. The body is designed to heal. That's not a theory. It's a biological fact. Every second of every day, your body is repairing cells, balancing hormones, fighting off harmful invaders, and working to keep everything in harmony. But the problem is not that the body lacks the ability to heal. The problem is that most people unknowingly interfere with that process. When you constantly push your body through extremes, crash diets, excessive workouts, lack of sleep, high stress, you send a signal that something is wrong. The body doesn't interpret these actions as progress. It interprets them as stress. And when the body is under stress, it shifts into survival mode. In survival mode, healing takes a back seat. The body prioritizes keeping you alive over optimizing your health. Hormones become imbalanced, digestion slows down, fat storage increases, and energy levels drop, not because your body is failing, but because it's trying to protect you. This is why forcing your body rarely works. You can push hard for a short period of time, but eventually your body will push back. You may experience fatigue, cravings, burnout, or even health issues. That's your body's way of telling you that the approach is not sustainable. True transformation doesn't come from fighting your body. It comes from working with it. It comes from understanding what your body needs and providing it consistently. When you support your body instead of stressing it, everything begins to change. One of the most important shifts you can make is moving from control to support, instead of trying to control every outcome. Every calorie, every pound, every result. You focus on supporting the processes that lead to those outcomes. You nourish your body with what it needs, and you allow it to do the rest. When your body feels supported, it relaxes. And when it relaxes, it functions better. Your digestion improves because your body is not in a constant state of stress. Your hormones begin to balance because your system is no longer overwhelmed. Your metabolism becomes more efficient because your body feels safe enough to burn energy instead of storing it. Safety is a powerful concept when it comes to health. The body is always asking one question: am I safe? If the answer is no, it will hold on to fat, slow down processes, and conserve energy. But if the answer is yes, it will release, repair, and optimize. Supporting your body creates that sense of safety. Simple actions like consistent nutrition, proper hydration, quality sleep, and small supportive habits send signals of stability. These signals tell your body that it can shift out of survival mode and back into healing mode. Healing mode is where the real changes happen. This is where the gut begins to repair, where nutrients are absorbed more effectively, and where energy production becomes more efficient. This is where you start to feel like yourself again, or even better than before. Another important aspect of supporting your body is patience. Not passive patience, but active patience. You're still taking action, but you're allowing your body the time it needs to respond. You're not forcing immediate results, you're trusting the process. The irony is that when you stop forcing results, they often come faster, because now your body is working with you instead of against you. There, ease, no resistance, no internal conflict, just alignment. Think about how nature works. You don't force a plant to grow by pulling on it. You give it water, sunlight, and the right environment, and it grows on its own. Your body works the same way. When you create the right internal environment, it naturally moves toward balance and health. Many people overlook the importance of this internal environment. They focus only on external actions, what they eat, how they exercise, but ignore how those actions affect the body internally. If those actions create stress, imbalance, or deficiency, they will not lead to lasting results. Supportive habits, on the other hand, enhance the internal environment. They reduce stress, improve function, and create conditions where the body can thrive. And when the body thrives, results are not forced. They are inevitable. It's also important to understand that your body is always communicating with you. Fatigue, cravings, bloating, mood swings, these are not random problems. They are signals, messages that something needs attention. When you learn to listen to these signals instead of suppressing them, you gain insight into what your body truly needs. Supporting your body means responding to these signals with care, not punishment. If you're tired, you rest. If your digestion is off, you support it. If your energy is low, you nourish it. This approach builds a relationship with your body based on trust and understanding. And that relationship is the foundation of long-term health. Because when you trust your body and your body trusts you, everything becomes easier. Decisions become clearer, habits become natural, and progress becomes consistent. The idea that you have to suffer to see results is one of the biggest misconceptions in health and fitness. Suffering creates resistance, and resistance slows progress. Support creates alignment, and alignment accelerates progress. When you shift your mindset from forcing to supporting, you remove the struggle. You stop fighting your body and start working with it, and in that partnership, you unlock the true potential of your body's ability to heal, balance, and transform. Most people start strong but fail to stay consistent, not because they lack motivation, but because the path they choose is too complicated to sustain. They try to change everything at once: diet, exercise, sleep, mindset, and within a short time it becomes overwhelming. The brain resists overload, the body resists sudden change, and what begins with excitement often ends in frustration. Sustainable transformation is not about doing more, it's about doing what you can maintain. It's about creating a lifestyle that fits you, not one that controls you. When your routine aligns with your daily life, your energy levels, and your natural rhythm, consistency becomes effortless. The body thrives on patterns. The body thrives on patterns. It responds to what you do repeatedly, not occasionally. You can have the perfect plan, the most effective strategy, but if you cannot follow it consistently, it loses its power. On the other hand, a simple routine that you follow every day becomes incredibly effective over time. Alignment is the key. When your actions match your body's needs, progress becomes natural. This means paying attention to how your body responds instead of blindly following rules. Not every method works for every person. Your body is unique and it gives you feedback constantly. When something works, you feel it. Your energy improves, your digestion feels smoother, your mind becomes clearer. When something doesn't work, you feel that too. The mistake most people make is ignoring this feedback. They continue doing things that don't serve them because they believe they have to. They follow strict plans that disconnect them from their own body. Over time, this creates frustration and burnout. But when you begin to listen, everything changes. You start making adjustments based on how you feel, not just what you're told. This creates a sense of control and awareness. You become more connected to your body, and that connection makes consistency easier. Consistency is not about perfection, it's about repetition. You don't have to get everything right every day, you just have to keep showing up. Even on days when you don't feel motivated, even on days when things are not ideal, small actions keep the momentum alive. Momentum is powerful. Once you build it, it carries you forward. You don't have to rely on motivation anymore because your habits take over. Your routine becomes automatic, and when something becomes automatic, it no longer requires effort or willpower. This is why simple routines are so effective. They reduce decision fatigue. You don't have to think about what to do, you already know. And because it's simple, you're more likely to follow through. Another important aspect of sustainability is flexibility. Life is not perfect and your routine shouldn't expect it to be. If your plan only works under perfect conditions, it will fail when life gets busy or unpredictable. But if your routine is adaptable, you can maintain it even when things change. Flexibility does not mean lack of discipline. It means understanding that consistency over time is more important than short-term perfection. Missing one day does not erase your progress. What matters is how quickly you return to your routine. When your approach is sustainable, there is no starting over. There is only continuing. You don't fall off track because there is no extreme track to fall from. You simply adjust and keep going. Alignment with your body also means respecting its limits. Pushing too hard may give temporary results, but it often leads to burnout or setbacks. Sustainable progress comes from working within your capacity and gradually expanding it. This allows your body to adapt without stress. As your body adapts, your capacity increases. What once felt difficult becomes easy. What once required effort becomes natural. This is growth, not forced, but earned through consistent, aligned action. Another powerful benefit of sustainability is confidence. When you prove to yourself that you can stay consistent, even with small habits, you build trust in yourself. That trust becomes the foundation for bigger changes. You start believing that you can improve, that you can maintain progress, that you are capable of long-term transformation. This confidence is not based on temporary results. It's based on your ability to show up every day. And that is far more valuable because results can fluctuate, but consistency creates stability. When your habits align with your body's natural needs, everything begins to feel easier. You're not forcing yourself to do things you hate. You're not constantly battling cravings or fatigue. Instead, your routine supports your energy, your digestion, your focus. It becomes something that enhances your life, not restricts it. This is what makes transformation last. It becomes part of who you are, not something you're trying to achieve. You don't rely on short bursts of motivation or extreme measures. You rely on simple, consistent actions that align with your body. Over time, these actions compound into powerful results. Your body becomes stronger, more efficient, more balanced. Your mind becomes clearer and more focused. And the changes you once struggled to achieve become your new normal. Consistency and alignment remove the struggle from transformation. They replace it with flow, with rhythm, with ease. And when something feels natural, you don't have to force it. You live it every day. In the end, everything comes back to one simple truth. Your body is not your enemy. It is your greatest ally. It has been working for you every single moment, adapting to whatever you give it, even when that support has been inconsistent or lacking. The real shift begins when you stop fighting it and start understanding it, when you stop overwhelming it and start nourishing it with small, consistent, and intentional actions. You don't need a perfect plan, and you don't need extreme changes. What you need is awareness, simplicity, and consistency. When you give your body the right support, even in the smallest way, you activate processes that have always been there, waiting to function at their best. Energy improves, digestion strengthens, cravings fade, and balance begins to return, not because you forced it, but because you finally allowed it. The power is not in doing everything at once, but in doing the right things repeatedly. Small habits create momentum, support creates healing, and alignment creates lasting transformation. When these come together, the results are not temporary. They become part of who you are. So instead of waiting for the perfect moment, start with one simple step. Stay consistent, listen to your body, and trust the process. Because once you feel that difference, once your body starts responding, everything changes, and you realize that the transformation you were searching for was never out of reach. It was just waiting for you to begin.